What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Backyard Quarterbacks, Season 2, Episode 5. I'm your host today, Tyler Russ. We got Ryan Hartle in the Florida State gear and Adam in the all black.
All black because it's a funeral for all of our teams. I hate football.
Yes,
I hate everybody. I'm done.
Yes,
Right.
not an exciting week for any of our teams. Pretty rough one. But other than that, guys, how was your weekend?
Great weekend.
Yeah,
I was in Miami. I was living it up like Will
Ooh.
Smith, Big Willie style.
Okay, getting jiggy with it.
No, I was down there for my my girlfriend's family event, Christina, and great time down there. It's nice to go and come back. Other than the drive, but yeah, great weekend for me. Other than football, what about you, Hartle?
Well, is that like a 6-hour drive? 7?
We were just north, like in Fort Lauderdale area, so
Okay.
it was like a 4.5, 5 hour.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No.
I think I'm used to the Tallahassee. Like leaving from Tallahassee to Miami is like an 8-hour.
Right.
It was a way better trip, I guess, than the last time you rode down to Miami.
Yeah, but I didn't go to a football game, but I was never in fear for my life. We didn't almost die on the highway. We weren't playing Miami. Yeah. So we did hit a bird.
Oh, nice.
We were actually in Miami. Just like a kamikaze bird just flew up and out of the side of the road and hit the windshield, and we didn't see it come down, but we also didn't see it fly away. I had to check the roof when we stopped, but it's somewhere, man. Hopefully it was saved.
Did y'all see
Ibis.
that Randy Johnson's the camera guy in the NFL or whatever? And
yeah,
like,
someone's I hope no
bird.
Yeah, I hope no bird flies in the front of that camera.
Yeah, my wife was asking me about that. And she was just kind of like, do you know who Randy Johnson? I'm like, big unit. And she's like about to ask the next question. I'm like, you know why they call him the
She's
big
like,
unit?
I don't know if he's got a big unit.
I was like, do you know why they call him the big unit? And she's like, can I just finish what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, go ahead. Yes, he killed a bird. So what's the chances of that happening? Slim.
Nuts, man.
Yeah.
To say that he killed that bird is a light statement. Like when you watch that, because my girl said the same thing also. And I was like, babe, you've never seen this. I got to show you this video. I've showed her like 2 baseball videos like over the last month. I showed her the Randy Johnson. By the way, that bird just obliterates and disintegrates into air, right? And then I was like, oh, have you ever heard of a guy named Nolan Ryan? He was a 46-year-old that beat up a 26-year-old in a baseball game.
Great videos to share. Great videos to share right there.
I'm like, babe, I'm 38 years old. I've been watching baseball my whole life. You're gonna just watch all the stuff that I love over the last 38 years.
Right.
But yeah, so Hartle, good weekend for you, other than just killing it in the softball league, man. That beer league softball.
Yeah, well, actually, it's a competitive league, so drink too much, you might be in trouble. But I got a good team around me. We are in first place. I don't know if we're tied in first place because we lost the game, but we're 5-1. The other team, I don't know if they lost tonight or not, but we're either in sole first place or tied in first. But yeah. Loving the softball league over our football teams. I guess we have to eventually talk about going into the Florida State.
Well, I know that I'm just like the Gator guy over here, so nobody really cares. But I had a good weekend.
Oh, you had a weekend?
So. Stay in the corner,
no one
dude.
cares. My God.
Yeah. I mean, we beat y'all's team. You played like.
Tyler, we know. Tyler, all it looks like you did all weekend was watch shitty football and lay out in the sun.
Yeah.
I did. Well, yeah, so I don't have to lay out in the sun. Kids in sports, you get to be outside watching them play. So I at least got to distract myself this weekend with my kids' sports teams. Just focus on terrible football play from my favorite college football and pro.
Yeah, back to my softball team, man. I'm telling you, we're really, really good. Let's talk some football.
Let's do it.
All right.
We start us off, Ryan, with Florida State.
Yeah, we missed a week, right, Hartle? So who do we have 2 weeks ago with FSU?
So we had NC State. Definitely want to get your tidbit on it because you went to the game. I was also there, but I really felt well about that game going into it. I felt like out of the 3, if you ask me, which one do we feel best about? I couldn't. I probably would have said a different team every day, but
right.
But I kind of felt NC State was. Geez, man, that was a rough one.
Yeah, it was brutal, just so close, and so went down there for the first time in as long, very, very, very long time. I mean, the last game I probably went to was with you. It might have been college or something, and definitely different game going at 38 versus 22, 25, 26, whatever that was. Got the tailgate, actually showed up to the game on time, got there early. We were with some people, so beautiful stadium. I mean, it really is God's country when you're there. I mean, there's just no stadium like it in Florida at all. So
oh shit,
great.
You went to the Wake Forest game. NC State was at NC State.
Yeah, I went to the Wake game.
Okay, my bad.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, no. Yeah. How many weeks did we miss?
No, I think we talked about it. I think we talked.
Yeah,
about
we did talk about it. My bad.
We talk about NC State.
Yeah, no,
I started thinking in my head. I was just like, hold on, we 3 weeks back.
No, we did briefly. Yeah, I remember I talked about this because I shared it on the page. I saw like the band
That's
come
right.
in. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, the NC State game. No, I did not go to North Carolina for that game.
But
But still,
beautiful God's country, Raleigh,
Yeah,
North
right.
Carolina.
Yeah, amazing barbecue with our mustard sauce. But yeah, still though, game was, I mean, very, very close game. We should have won, I think. And
Up 17 to 3 at half. What was it? We had the lead. We're up 2 scores, and
17 to 3 at half, and then they
we
scored.
didn't score again.
They scored 16 unanswered. Yeah,
We scored 17 in the second quarter by itself. Yeah, and then they unanswered. I mean, listen. Sorry, I just pulled up the ESPN and heard some music. We're having a killer comeback after missing a week here. But no, yes, the NC State game, it really and then watching the Clemson game, and then obviously the one we talked about with Wake, we were so handicapped by our kicker that it's changed everything. We go for it every fourth down. I don't care if it's on the 15-yard line first in the red zone. I don't care if it's on the 25, if it's on the 40. Like, we are so handicapped to where we're going for it, and then we haven't really been getting it, and it's been penalizing us because hey, you kick a field goal 3 points here. Hey, there's another time where we can kick a field goal here or there, and we can't even do that. Which has just been really hurting us. NC State, to me, is the game was you got to give props due to them. They made the plays. They did what they needed to do. I remember just being livid with a couple of those calls that went their way. And that's sports, period. You can sit here and just bitch and complain about penalties left and right. But, you get some calls go your way, you other teams, but to have those two back to back, really, to me, just shot us right in the heart. And we end up going to lose that game,
and we're too late. Yeah,
I mean, we came all the way back down to the 12-yard line. I know there were some people talking about a very piss poor play call, but if you go back to the play calls, it was a run, a pass, a run, a pass, a run, a pass. I mean, they were mixing it up, and I even told myself, even when we got to field goal range, when we were in a 12-yard line, okay, obviously we were kicking the field goal, but I still had that feeling we can't rely on this kicker. I don't care how close it could be, an extra point. We might need to take a shot in the end zone, and we took a shot and it was intercepted because they knew the same exact thing. We didn't have a field goal kicker.
It's hard to play call and be surprise the defense. I mean, when you're no kicker, and I'm thinking over the last couple of games, we got the best damn girls soccer team every year. You're telling me one of those girls can't come and kick field goals?
Right.
UCF did it a couple years ago, right?
We saw that. We saw what happened with Vandy.
Oh, that was Vandy. Okay, I thought it was UCF. Yeah, but
man, our girls stick though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's better than
defending national champions. We just go ahead and throw that out there. Just no slouch on our soccer team.
Well, yeah, we're a women's soccer school. Yeah. But yeah, we talked about that, Hartle, right? Going into that 3-game stretch, got to get 1 out of 3. One out of 3. And then, you got 5 wins. You just need 3 more for a bowl. And I mean,
that NC State game was ours for the taking, and we just wasn't able to finish or capitalize on our opportunities, and our mistakes kind of calculated there in the second half. We kicked a punt. We have an Aussie punter, probably played rugby all his life.
He's from down under.
Who doesn't know?
Well, he was going to get blocked, and so he faked like he was going to punt, let the guy go by, and then took off. And then as he's running, he's about 7 yards past the line of scrimmage at this point. He probably needs another 7 yards to get a first down. There's nobody chasing his ass. Ain't nobody chasing him. And he kicks the ball, decides to kick it. I thought, like, damn, whatever. We'll take the 10 yards and we'll punt again. No, it's turn of downs and they added yardage. So they automatically went into the red zone after that.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes, man.
Yeah, dude thought he was playing rugby. He's like, man, I can either score or kick it. I'm gonna kick for the 3.
I've never seen
that
in my life.
It was brutal.
I'm like, wait, that's actually the worst penalty that you could ever get. Yeah. I mean, even you got 2 personal fouls, it's 30 yards, but you still can kick the ball off or punt it or redo this and that. This was a completely punting.
Yeah.
From the 30-yard line. We do that, then they get the ball inside the 20 because of the penalty. They get ball and yardage. Like, I was like, wait, this is the worst thing that could ever happen.
Yeah, but as you're watching that, aren't you like, yeah, that seems about right for how our program's been going for the last
we
7
held them
years.
to a field goal right there. Like, it was still, I mean, like we talked about it. We drove down the field, threw the interception within a minute left in the game. All we had to do is kick a field goal from the 12-yard line. We had that game won. It's kind of that LSU-ish, like, we had that fumble at the goal line and then gave the opportunity right back to LSU to drive down the field to beat us. But we ended up blocking that extra point. It's like we had it won again, but we made some. I mean, people were trying to compare it to the Seattle Seahawks or Russell Wilson. Just run the ball, just run. It's so easy to say that after the fact, you know what I mean? Because I told you my first instinct was like, listen, we can't trust this kicker. So we lose that game. We go into Clemson. I was feeling pretty good about it. Just the fact that, like, how bad that last game was, how it ended. Like, you got beat by a Wake team they got 36 or 46 seniors on their team. I can't tell you how many, but they got buku kids from 23, 25 years old. I think they're older than the Jaguars. And then they beat us. Good, whatever. Then you go into the NC State game where you basically gave the game away. I mean, that's just garden and gold glasses. NC State made some plays. Obviously, the guy picked the interception, so can't take that away from him. But you go into this Clemson game, and I'm just like, this ain't the same Clemson team. This is not the number 4 team in the country.
Yeah.
I feel very confident that we're going to come out and punch them in the mouth, which we did. We came out and scored a touchdown, but so did they. It was
7th straight loss to Clemson, by the way.
It was right there. It scored 17 points in like 2 minutes. It was like they kicked the field goal.
Like a Georgia game for Florida last year.
Yeah. And my wife was telling me, because I was at the stadium, so I didn't hear the commentary, but they were talking about how Clemson takes over. They call it the 8-minute part of a game. So it's the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half. And they scored like an outrageous amount of points in that. And since 2015, they're like
27 or something.
They're like 60-2 if they scored in between that 8 minutes, or they scored a crap ton of points. And they did that. They kicked a field goal. We had like 40-something seconds left. Jordan Travis gets sacked, fumbles the ball. They get the ball back, scores a touchdown. They get the ball at halftime. So they got 10 points in a minute, 45 seconds, whatever. We kick it off. Shipley or some other white dude runs it all the way down to the 30. And then they hand it off to Shipley and he scored a touchdown. So it's like 17 points.
Yep.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know, Dabo kind of threw our fans under the bus or just kind of talk crap. It's just like, hey, that stadium was half empty. And I'll tell you who didn't quit was that team. You know, obviously, we could have scored. We had the ball on the 2-yard line, 4 tries to get in the fourth quarter, couldn't get in. Turnover on downs. They ended up punting it. We scored 2 more touchdowns after that. We got up for an onside kick, didn't get it, lost by 6 points. And it's just like, wait a minute, we could have scored. We scored 21 points in the fourth quarter against Wake Forest. You know what I'm saying? I kept saying it. I kept looking at the score. I'm like, yo, when it was 34-14, I was like, we're going to score 3 touchdowns. We're going to win 35-34. And it could have happened. But we got stuck on the 2-yard line. Did 2 fade passes back to back to Johnny Wilson.
Yeah.
Finger, like just off the fingertips.
Right. Yeah. If he ain't catching it, nobody is.
He's 6'7".
Yeah.
But you still, I mean, you don't want to go 0-3 against 3 quality opponents. This is kind of your
all in the ACC. Yep.
To make a mark, just like we are back those first 4 games, which doesn't even equivalent to like the teams that they are. I don't even know if I said the word right, but just like, man, like this
was the word you were looking for. They don't even equate to the
But still,
I'm not gonna lie, you threw me off so bad with that word. I was like, oh God,
it sounded good to me.
Yeah,
yeah,
they ain't they just ain't equivalent. You know,
we ain't got the equipment, we ain't got the equilibrium, we ain't got nothing, dog.
But well, luckily, we got to move on to the other team. But luckily, we got a can't lose week coming up, or can't lose week.
Can't lose.
Yeah, it's a bye.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's brutal to watch, man.
It sounds like
of the last 3, but we
could
have
like
won
last year. It sounds like last year we didn't quit. The team's not quitting. We don't have Travis Hunter in our recruiting class, but we ain't quitting.
Yeah,
we're still fighting.
Yeah, but all that's fun to talk about. But at the end of the day, we're 0-3 in the last 3 games. I mean, it is what it is. Some of the responsibilities on the head coach, some of it's on the guys, some of it's on not having a kicker. Why don't we have a kicker? You know what I mean? So
they booed him at Clemson. Like they do the starting lineups and they'll put the person up and their number and their name, like Ryan Fitzpatrick, or that's the quarterback, but whatever the Fitzpatrick kicker we got. The whole crowd boo before the game even started.
Yeah, good. Get used to it. Kick better. You know what I mean?
Rough crowd.
Tyler Russ, man. Gators.
Yeah, y'all still got a football team?
We still got a football team.
I will say this,
Tyler, before that you guys have. That's the
before you start, Tyler. I will say this.
Utah
we kind of did get a win today.
They won.
Or we got a win over the last
2 losses.
They got one of them's us. The other one they beat USC, who was 6-0. They beat them.
Yeah, but
so
that was your glory. We beat the best 1-loss team.
Anyhow, FSU kind of got a win because if you beat a team in the year earlier, and then that team goes and beats another team, essentially you won. So we basically beat Florida because we beat LSU and LSU. That's how that works.
We weren't going to play later in the season, then we'll go by that. But we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. I mean, I'm not confident in the Gators beating anybody at this point. I mean, maybe Vandy, but
I mean, the Mizzou one was kind of not high strung.
No,
like y'all, took care of business.
Yeah, AR. I think AR didn't even throw for 100 yards in that game.
Still projected first round.
They're still projecting him up there. So, the NFL, it's all about potential.
I still think they're gonna. I still think they're gonna Matt Jones him.
No, he's gonna be quarterback.
I mean, nobody's talking about that. He's got the arm. Yeah, he's got the skill set for it. It's just
if he starts practicing throwing from his knees now, he's first overall pick.
Jamarcus Russell 2.0.
But yeah, I mean, it's what's really though, even though he didn't throw for 100 yards, I mean, it's he did in the LSU game. I think he threw for, I mean, it wasn't crazy. It was like 140, 170 or something like that. So, and then he rushed for another 109. But I mean, that was like a burst play, like and he had, I think, a 50-yard pass for a touchdown to start the game. I think it was like the second play. So even that, it's like it's these one big plays for each side that even makes it somewhat respectable. But he's not, he's just definitely not a guy that you can put it on his shoulders. He's just going to go win the game for us. He might make it exciting. I guess we're down a couple of touchdowns, which is what he did against LSU. But what's really killing us is just our defense. Missouri, it was, I want to say like 3 or 4 times where we had 3rd and 15 or worse. Like the defense had Mizzou's offense 3rd and 15 or worse, and they converted it. And then in the game against LSU, I think they were 7 of 8 at one point on 3rd downs. In that one that they didn't get on 3rd down, they got, to 4th and 1, and they went for it and got it. So I think it was through the 3rd quarter before we even made them punt. So they went up 3 touchdowns, right there at the 3rd quarter. And then Anthony Richardson made it exciting for a second there. He had like an 80-something yard run for a touchdown. And then we finally got our first stop on defense and got the ball back, and we went down and we scored again, bringing in with 1 score. And then we actually get an interception. And I was like, I can't believe we got an interception. It was with 6 minutes left. And it's like, somehow we're going to do this. We're going to come back.
I think you
All the
text
momentum
us
was on our side.
We're down 1 score. I remember you texting us.
Yeah. Well, because you had just texted that they put the score up in the stadium at FSU, and like the whole crowd cheered or something.
Yeah.
And it was like quickly after that text is like, well, it's a 1-score game. So I was like, man, this is crazy how quickly it turned around. And then we got the interception. For a brief second, I'm thinking like, holy crap, we're about to do this. And then they're like, oh, it's a flag on the play. And I told you guys, it wasn't even like they weren't calling for it was a late hit or targeting or anything like that. It was just it's a new rule apparently that you can't drop them with your full body weight on the quarterback. You got to turn to the side, or I mean, he came off of, I'm not saying he couldn't have turned to the side, but he came off of his block and there's just a quarterback right there, and he just ramps him up, takes him to the ground. Didn't look dirty or malicious in any way, but the rules are rules. And so they called the penalty of roughing the passer.
Yeah.
They really hadn't called many penalties all game. One of the comments the coach Napier even said was that they were really letting them play. They were letting them be physical. So it just sucks that the timing of that one was like, we got that interception was possibly going to turn the game and us, go down and at least tie it while still having momentum, see where we go from there. But, instead of, and even if he didn't get that interception there and you're thinking like it was he makes that, we just stop him and it would have been 3rd down. But instead, it's now 1st down, 15 yards further down the field. And, I think they get 1 or 2 first downs there, and then they've been kicking a field goal, pretty much put the game out of touch, out of reach with.
Reminds me of some guy named Trayvon Walker for the Jaguars. He keeps getting these 15-yard penalties for us to lose the game. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that too. But
the LSU game, it kind of resembled the Tennessee game. I mean, scoring wise, like, okay, this team's ahead, but then y'all kind of fought back. Then you saw what Tennessee did to Alabama. So it's just kind of like, if a couple of plays go your way, or you get a call that's to you bogus, but it goes your way, like it might be a different outcome or just a different scenario. To me, it's interesting with,
but I mean,
AR-15 still. It's just like, I feel like he just still hasn't figured it out. You know what I mean? I think him getting 100 yards rushing is like, that's going to be him like succeeding. And it doesn't, like, the passing going to come. Don't force it now. Like, but go ahead and Tebow wasn't like going to be just straight light up 400 yards every week?
They want to, because of his athletic, he's just such a freak athletically. And then he does throw a pretty ball, he's not accurate, but it's a pretty ball and he's got a good deep ball. But it's people want to jump on, some people want to make him like this, Heisman candidate early in the season. Obviously, nobody's talking about that right now, but or this first round draft pick. But for me, it's just like we've had such bad quarterback play for so long. As long as he's good enough for us to, we had that one, spark up with Kyle Trask, but outside of that, Tebow is our last, good quarterback, good college quarterback,
and used the run quite effectively.
Yeah. He was like he was a fullback at the quarterback position, and then he just had these insane wide receivers out there that he could throw to.
You think they're using AR correctly?
Like a good passer. I think that I don't know. I told you he was almost like he's bipolar. He's like athletically bipolar or something like that.
Yeah.
So
you did say that.
He can go out and look great, and then how do you throw for? It was over 300 yards. I can't remember what it was. Tennessee, but it was really good. It was really good Tennessee game.
400 yards, I think.
Yeah, maybe you might be right. And then and then he had 250 and with only 12 passes, I think it was against Eastern Washington or Grayson Eastern Washington, whatever. But then he's doing good, and then Missouri comes out and he's not even throw for 100 yards, and then it's not even 200 yards against LSU. Which part of that is kind of limited because our defense allows the other team's offense to be on the field so long. So like all these teams that we're playing are like killing us in the time of possession battle. So I don't even think we really get that many plays a game.
Yeah, Richardson had 453 yards against Tennessee, but 24 for 44. He almost had as many incompletions as he had connected. 24 only completing 24 or 453
barely
yards.
Over 50%. Yeah.
In the Tennessee game?
Plays, yeah. So
yeah, for sure. But
how do you feel with your coach? Like, I think right now on the Florida State side, I'm talking for everybody. I'm sorry, but I just feel like, it sucks to go 0-3, but like nobody just slapped us around. We were competitive in it. I think everybody believes we're going in the right direction. You got your crazies like fire Norvell and hire Deion Sanders. But but it's just like, how do you feel about your coach right now? This is, Norvell had a crappy situation. Only won, 4 games last year or however many it was. Now we're 4-3 after starting off 4-0. I feel like we're still positive about the situation. How do you feel right now, first year coach with Napier?
So, I gotta admit, like at times I'm definitely like I got annoyed at the end of the second half, and it seemed like they just wanted to kind of run the clock down. I don't know if they thought that our defense can't stop them. So if we don't score, like we got to go down and score. If we don't score quickly, then we don't want to give LSU a chance to score again right before the half. But for me, it was like we had 3 timeouts or at least 2 timeouts when we went into half. And then we just, we didn't even end up going for it on 4th down in the end of the second half because they just decided to just let the clock finish and run out. I think we got the ball. It was like over 2 minutes when we started the drive, and then we ended up letting the clock run out before the half. So for me, and that was with LSU getting the ball to start the half. So I get it from the perspective of if we go down and we try to, put as much time on the clock and then go down and then we don't convert, and then LSU gets the ball back, okay, they've got more than a minute. They might go down and score and then get the ball back. But they were up a touchdown, and we decided to not go for it and basically just kind of take it into the half. We ran some plays to try to get down the field, but we didn't utilize the timeouts at all to try to manage and make it as long as possible. So it's just kind of like let the clock run out. If we get there, we get there. If we don't, we don't. So I didn't really like that. I I thought we should at least kind of go for it and sold out trying to get there. I feel like it's almost, I guess they're doing this, what's the highest, with these analytics now, what's the highest analytics, tell our best chance with the analytics. But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, how do you feel that
we've seen us go for it?
I mean, we're kind of in the halfway point, if not a little bit past it. I mean, how do you feel the rest of the season is going to go?
I mean, I'm not overly positive. We've got Vandy, so we've got 4 wins, and we've got Vandy, and we've got South Carolina. South Carolina beat Kentucky, so it's not like South Carolina's a gimme. I don't think that they're having a great season overall.
Georgia's a gimme,
but those are 2 a gimme for them. Yeah, so we're definitely not winning that one. And then Florida State. I mean,
coin toss, baby.
Honestly, how's Anthony Richards going to play? And is he going to be able to run around and get free? And
if he's having his way, you probably get a W.
Yeah, but they got to figure something out on defense, because basically these teams, the last 2 games, and these are not fantastic offenses. I mean, they got talent at LSU, but this wasn't like a super proficient offense that was able to convert it literally every 3rd down all the way up until the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
So they got to figure something out on defense. Otherwise, I mean, our offense is going to have to be perfect in order for us to win.
Yeah.
And that scares me. Anytime you have to say that our offense has to be perfect to win, I mean, that's really scary.
Are you scared at all with with your recruiting class? Like, is people going to start wavering off, or do you have that kind of fear?
Yeah, you always get that fear, when things aren't going well, but it's.
Have y'all seen Deion Sanders on the campus at all?
Still in your recruits?
Wondering when you got a big recruit in town, be careful.
But I will say, so they have really dedicated this coaching staff, and they've done a lot to dedicate towards recruiting that Dan Mullen just didn't do. And you can't ignore the fact that Dan Mullen's recruiting was terrible his last couple of years. If it wasn't for COVID, I mean, our team would be awful. The fact that we have a few guys out there that, they were able to get that COVID extension and stay a little bit longer because of it. I mean,
same with us. I mean, just the recruiting or the transferring rules and just everything. It just kind of helps speed up the process.
Right, exactly.
Turning it around.
But so hopefully that we can continue to have a good recruiting class. We keep it together. I saw that Whittemore decommitted, but I want to say I don't know that he was a 4-star. I think he might have been a 3-star. So it's not like a devastating decommit. I haven't heard of anybody else decommitting yet. But you always worry about that. But I do at least see that we're much more dedicated to recruiting, making sure that we actually have 5-stars interested in coming and watching our games. I think we were supposed to have 5-5-stars at the game, at the LSU game. So you never would have heard that under Dan Mullen. Doesn't mean those guys are going to commit to us or any of them.
Yeah.
But just the fact that we're getting
hey, you can come start right away. If you play defense, you can probably play next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I think so. ETN returned some kicks for us to start the game. He returned it to the 50. Nice. And then I think he had our big one later. So just and I want to say he started that first drive. So showing that if you produce as a freshman, you can get out there and you can get on the field. I think that's going to be beneficial for recruits as well, to say, hey, I can step in and play right away, because the guys in front of me, they're not doing too hot this year.
Speaking of ETN,
Jaguars,
he's looking nice.
Yeah. Looking a lot better after
one
seeing
highlight.
seeing him get some good weeks and some good consistent carries. But yeah, they suck too, man. Jaguars 0-2 in the last 2 weeks. I mean, at least this past week, Trevor Lawrence, wasn't an awful game. He didn't turn the ball over. 20 for 22. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. 1 touchdown, no picks, no fumbles.
Let me just jump in just because it's relevant to what you just said.
163 yards.
AR first game all season, I believe, where he didn't have a turnover.
Oh, wow.
Do you want anything else in about your pathetic team before we get on to the Jaguars?
To another pathetic team?
Listen, all teams, all three teams are looking too bad right now. So I don't think
all teams matter.
There's anybody that really, yeah.
It's Florida, baby. We got to get some real football going on here because we're sucking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a talent pool here, but we can't seem to get it together.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, if you think about it, it was the Philly game. Did we discuss the Philly game? Yeah, we did. We lost to Houston. We didn't discuss the Houston game.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Just lost
what a boring game that Houston was. At the half, all we saw was 4 field goals. Yeah, and then finally we get a touchdown in the fourth quarter. It was just from the team that we didn't want it to be from. And then you kind of mentioned this earlier, Hartle, was because of our first round draft pick had a bonehead play to give them,
I mean, I think I texted y'all. It's just like, when is it okay to be like, is Trevor Lawrence not that guy that everybody projected him to be? That's just like can't miss prospect. He's the next Peyton Manning. He's the next Andrew Luck. He's just so good. I was talking to someone else, and they were saying, "Man, I thought we were getting this not only just this prolific passer, but this like extremely confident runner." He ain't running the damn ball. He did get 2 touchdowns rushing this past week, which I thoroughly enjoy or excited to see. But it's just like, I feel like he's just not there right there. In that Houston game, the one play that I remember was the commentators, I think it was the 4th down play, and he tried to hit Evan Ingram down the sideline for like a 30-40 yard pass, and on the left side of the field was like Marvin Jones or Zay Jones, one of those guys. Both of them were basically open for the first down, and you look at his progression, he dropped back, went to the right, and just slung it, and it was premeditated where he was going. And it's just like, it's kind of, you don't like to hear that from this guy that you're like, oh yeah, he's the next Peyton Manning. Like,
he's coming in game ready. You can't be successful in the NFL staring receivers down and not checking down. So I mean, he's got to get better. But yeah, I mean, this past weekend, the Sunday, and I mean, good game from him. Just, I think it's a little bit, you got to utilize how to play him, how to cultivate his pros, and work on his cons. But yeah, I mean, awful for the Jaguars, so.
Yeah. Are we headed towards another like top 5 pick? Like, are we gonna get hot the last 4 weeks of the season, maybe go 3-1, and then we're sitting with like the 12th pick now? Like,
right.
I can kind of see something like that, but I don't know. I think we got a little ahead of ourselves. I mean, we were so extremely awful last year, and it's not even like a glimpse. And that was Trevor Lawrence's first year. Obviously, Urban Meyer, blah blah blah. Now we're going in here, and people didn't know what to expect. I mean, we got a new head coach. We got a new
former Super Bowl winner. Yeah,
I mean, we came out with a great game plans, and we're beating the hell out of the Colts 24-0. We're beating the hell out of the Chargers 38-10. Like, kept it close, 5 turnovers against the Eagles, and we only lost by 9 or 8. It was just like, okay, I'm feeling kind of good about this. And then we hit these, people would want to call it gimmies, but it's our damn rivals, division games. You can't, like, they're always weird as hell. Like, you can't gamble on those games because it's like anything can happen. The worst team wins majority of the time, maybe. But I mean,
it's always the Texans with us.
Texans, 9-game win streak right now.
Something like that. That game hurts. I mean, you're coming into that game. They don't have a win. They have half a win because they had a tie. But that's just like typical Jaguars, right? Like, all right, we're finally excited about anything, 2 wins, right? Because there's lots of seasons when we get 1 win or something like that. And that's a heartbreaker to lose that game in Jacksonville, and a boring game, period. But then, for them to score 7 to win it, just brutal.
When do we go to London? We need a win.
I feel like what are we going to focus on next year draft wise? This is like, it's a time to protect Trevor Lawrence. It's a time to really go all out for offensive linemen. I mean, the defense is looking okay. Yeah, I mean, if
Who are
you
the main
got
quarterbacks coming out next year?
who gives a damn?
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're thinking about, I mean, because we're not going to, get one
We
in
could
free
trade
agency or anything
down
like
if
that.
we
So
got a high pick. We could trade down, but they're supposed to go like
What
five,
about
six.
that kid from Pittsburgh? Isn't he supposed to be really good, or
That was
what's his
last
name?
year.
Oh, okay.
Pickett, he
Yeah,
plays for the
yeah, yeah.
Steelers now, but yeah, it's a lot of them. They keep kind of like, one would be the number one
switching them around.
quarterback, and then they have a couple bad games, and now they're the fourth or fifth one. Yeah, I can't even tell you one. Oh, CJ Stroud, Ohio State. I've now seen Hooker from Tennessee breaking in the
Yeah.
top 100.
He's another one of those. He's like 24 years old. He'd
Bryce
be an old
Young.
rookie.
It's between Stroud and Young going 1-2 as of right now. You're
Right.
seeing Anthony, I'm about to say Roberson. Richardson.
Yeah.
He's hanging in there, and then you got like some guy from almost like a Liberty school, like Malik Willis last year. You got your small quarterbacks in there. That's I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Could you imagine if the Jags drafted Anthony Richardson?
no, I don't even want.
Even I, as a Gator fan, I'd be like, "You got to be kidding me."
Yeah, but that, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. I don't think it'll happen, but it wouldn't be surprising. Or
yeah,
the Jags. I know he's not going to be drafted as a position player, but the Jags would. Like, that's their MO of the past. Man, he was just too big of an athlete to pass up, and we already got a quarterback, so we think we can put him at tight end, or God knows what they'll do.
Yeah, or draft Tavon Bryan over Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Bye Super Bowl right there. I tell you what, we could have been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice to have Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
but you got to go. O line or D line. I mean, I think our ends are good. I guess we keep Josh Allen. I don't know. I mean, he might get to the point he's going to be too expensive, but you got to go big defensive tackle. If there's something like available, you got to go big all offensive lineman. Whatever's at our pick, we got to get that ugly shit out the way, because I feel like that's what's kind of hurting us right now, because we got to run the ball. We got to run the ball. We got to be able to stop it. We were stopping it at the beginning of the year, but now it doesn't look like we can stop anything. Colts' third string running back just had a field day against us.
Yep.
So
yeah. With Robinson and ETN, I mean, I feel like we need to build up that offensive line, and we can be a good running team. Keep us.
I feel like they don't give
that'll allow Trevor to not have to be as good, and give him a little bit of a break while he figures things out.
I feel like because we had a Hastings, Jermichael Hastings, a third string, run the longest play. He had a 61, 62-yard touchdown. It was on a 4th and 1. He broke it open.
We should have traded him right there. But traded him right there and got some picks on him.
But it's like, I feel like they don't keep giving the ball to the hot hand. I feel like James Robinson would be looking real nice, and then all of a sudden ETN's out there and gets stuck at the line or one or two, because he's not a big guy. He's a scat back.
He needs space. Yeah, I mean, even though he broke off one for 48 in that game.
Yeah, he did. But then it's like, okay, ETN's hot, and then all of a sudden you throw in James Robinson, and I don't know. Like, I don't know how they're doing the rotations and stuff like that with the game plans, but it's not looking really good right now.
Yeah, that was a frustration at with Dan Mullen in Florida, and you got Pierce. I mean, Pierce killing in the NFL in his rookie season, but all season long last year it was like, run Pierce. Why don't we run Pierce? And then you guys we get to the Florida State game at the end of the year.
Like, who the heck is that guy? Hey, let the Jaguars get him.
Like, that guy should have been known all season long. He should have been talked about all season long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was a beast, and we just didn't run him.
it's just so much goes into gameplay, goes into the different coaches, and just like it's so wild. It's just how football
Yeah.
works, and just how hot you can get, and then how cold you can get, and just everything in between.
Well, and that's why when you asked me like my thoughts on the coach, and it was just like, I mean, I don't know. I don't even really want to
It's
try to
almost like
speculate
the
on that
end of the
because
season
is it
type.
is it the talent? It's not his guys. Like you can make those excuses. I mean, it could also be, he really isn't, he really isn't over his head and what he's doing here. His scheme doesn't work. But even if his scheme doesn't work now, what it's more about is like, well, how does he learn? How does he develop, even as a coach? Because is he going to continue and stick with like, well, this is my method, this is my offense, and then this is what I'm gonna. I mean, yeah, he came from Louisiana, and
Saban taught me everything.
What they call him, Sunbelt Billy, but he did, he was also at Clemson for offensive coordinator,
and Saban,
and had a good season there. Yeah, well, yeah, he was under Saban too. So, he's been there in the big leagues. So,
but when you don't have those players, if you don't have those
see.
Alabama or Clemson players, you ain't shit.
Yeah, I mean, well, I wouldn't say you ain't shit, but
it's a lot easier to call plays with those guys. Yeah, for
right,
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had a couple. I had 5 defensive linemen going the first round, but yeah, I'm a good defensive coach. I didn't recruit those guys; they were already there when I came there. But I think I deserve this head coaching job here in the NFL.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Well, luckily for all of us, we only can get our heart broken once this upcoming week. Wait, do the Jaguars play? I mean, are they on a bye too?
No, we don't have a bye yet. I'm pulling it up. I'm at that daggone LSU Florida game. Quizzing Tyler. 16-16 in that NFL game with 33 seconds left. Chargers ball 4th and 2. We got the Giants, the 5-1 Giants coming almost said Tallahassee. They're coming to Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, that's a loss.
Dude, how are they even good? Saquon's good again, but Daniel Jones sucks.
But Saquon.
We're gonna win that game.
Just that good.
You know what? that it wouldn't surprise me. We would win that game, right? Yeah, that would make perfect sense. They come into Jacksonville. They're thinking, oh, Jacksonville. We got to do it. We got to beat the Jags to show Coughlin that he made the right decision coming to Giants 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, here's the crazy thing. The spread on that game, the Jaguars right now are favored by 3. I swear to God. I'm looking at it on
Vegas knows.
Vegas always knows. The Jaguars right now are favored by 3.
There you go. Put your money on the Jags.
Yeah, I might go with the Giants on this one, guys. Have y'all been watching this? Yeah.
I barely get through the Jags games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
sure.
I just don't want to be. I don't know.
I shouldn't say that. The last couple of weeks has been hard to watch, but it's actually been fun to watch.
Just knowing like they are good, but not yet. Maybe it's just so frustrating to see us beat the Giants, to say we beat the Giants. Okay, now we beat the Giants, we beat the Chargers, we beat all these playoff teams, but we can't win those
division rivals
or under 500 teams, like games that are like, oh yeah, Jags got this.
Yeah, then that almost makes all those losses even more frustrating, right?
Yeah,
because you're like, what the hell are we doing? Like,
yeah.
All right, yeah. So at least we get to focus on one game this upcoming week. We can put all our energy. We can all be on the same page. Go Jaguars. Go T-Law. Go ETN. Go Robinson.
Oh, are we getting together for this game? Are we going?
I'll be out of town this weekend, so I can't
never
go.
Mind. Never mind. I'm not going to babysit Tyler's kids.
I'm going to the NASCAR race this weekend down in Homestead, Florida.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going back down to South Miami or South wherever the hell that is.
Homestead, Florida.
Yeah, but I think it's down there by Miami, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we got palm trees and stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna try not to hit a bird, but yeah, we Yeah, look, or maybe like kill some iguanas and like because
Did you see the
they're a nuisance down there.
what's his name, roughing up Kyle Larson? The guy got offended for having a nooses in the locker or the garages. Bubba Wallace. So he got into it with Ryan Larson. The guy, his car kept going up. He couldn't stop it. Ended up bumping him. So Bubba hit the wall, and so he got kind of loose. And then he just like dove right at like some Days of Thunder shit. Like, okay, you just knocked me out, I'm knocking you out. So he knocks Ryan Larson. And so Larson's probably like Adam size. Dude's like 5'7", 5'8".
And big guy.
And then
so he's a monster. What are you saying?
Bubba Wallace is like 6 foot something. So he just walks up there, doesn't act mad or anything. And then as soon as he gets there, just throws his arms up, and he just kept pushing this like little guy just over and over. And he looked like
Adam Sandler fighting the Price is Right guy on Happy
who's the Jewish guy on the Daily Wire? Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
You look like Ben Shapiro. They're like, what are you doing, man? Leave me alone. Like, this is this huge guy, and he just ends up like, I think
this
the
is
final
oddly
push,
aggressive for a race.
Yeah.
I think he pushed him one last time, was just like, and just turned around and walked off. So you got some NASCAR drama as you go down there to Homestead.
Oh yeah, I'll take videos and be sure to share it. But yeah, I think that's our time, fellas. So yeah, Jaguars, we got to win. We're favored right now. It'll be interesting to see how that line changes. The season's not over for the Noles or for the Gators. We're still above 500. That's a lot more than we could say a lot of times last year for both of us.
We're just trying to go to a bowl game.
Just a bowl game would be like our national championship at this point.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's all we're looking for. Yeah. All right, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, comment. We'd love to hear some comments and interact with you guys. So we appreciate you watching. However many of you actually do. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching, Mom.
Yeah, next week. Thanks, Mrs. Hartle. Love you guys.
Bye, Connie.